Hello, Tom Frezza here from the Naval History and Heritage Command, and today we are again going to be cooking with history with a recipe out of the 1945 edition of the Cookbook of the United States Navy. And the recipe we're going to be focusing on today is for oatmeal cookies. Now, it was suggested that we try out the oatmeal cookie recipe in this cookbook, and at first when I was told that, I wasn't too thrilled because I'm not a big fan of raisins. I'll eat them, but I'm not a big fan of them. But when I took a look at the recipe, much to my surprise and my joy, there are no raisins in this oatmeal cookie recipe. So it should taste a lot better in my book. And hopefully a lot more books out there as well if you try this at home. So the recipe itself is found in the cookie section of the cookbook, and it's on page 428. The recipe itself originally calls for a yield of 14.5 pounds of this mixture with a portion size of 2 cookies per sailor. Now again, we've scaled this down so you can try this at home, and we're going to go through the ingredients and tell you what they originally were and then what the scaled down version is. So, first ingredient on here is flour. Originally, 3/4 of a gallon, we're using 3 cups. Next is baking powder, originally 3 tablespoons. We'll be using 2 1/4 teaspoons. Next is soda, most likely baking soda. Originally 1 tablespoon, we'll be using 3/4 of a teaspoon. Next is salt, originally 2 tablespoons, we'll be using 2 teaspoons. Next is cinnamon, originally 1 tablespoon, we'll be using 3/4 of a teaspoon. Next is nutmeg, originally 1 tablespoon, we'll be using 3/4 of a teaspoon. Then cloves, originally 1 1/4 tablespoons, we'll be using 3/4 of a teaspoon and 1 pinch. Then you will have the main ingredient, oatmeal. Originally 2 1/8 quarts, we'll be using 2 1/4 cups. Next is shortening. Originally 4.5 cups. We'll be using 1 1/8 of a cup. Then you will have sugar. Originally 1 3/8 quarts, we'll be using 1 cup. Next is molasses. Originally 1 cup, we'll be using 1/4 of a cup. Then eggs, whole. Originally 10, we'll be using probably 2 or 3 eggs. And then milk, liquid. Originally 1 quart, we'll be using 1 cup. Alright, so the makeup of all of these ingredients is actually fairly simple. Basically, you're going to scale out the ingredients or measure out the ingredients and then get them into a mixing bowl, and then you're going to mix at medium speed until the dough is nice and smooth. Then you will drop the dough onto a greased baking sheet and place it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, it says for 10 to 12 minutes. Again, use your judgment when they seem done. You know, if they're not really like liquidy doughy anymore, should be good. But, you know, use your best judgment. And it says remove the cookies while warm from the pan and let cool and serve. So, we're going to get into this recipe. Hopefully it turns out really well. And again, excited that there's no raisins in it. So we're going to break into this and see how it turns out. So as you can see, our cookies are done. They're out of the oven, and all that's really left now to do is give it a try. And as you can see, I already can tell this is going to be good because no raisins. So here we go. You know what? Yeah, this isn't bad. It's actually fairly good. One note about the recipe, we did cut the salt, so we only used 1 teaspoon of salt. So make that change, and it's really flavorful, and probably go good in this are some walnuts or something. But it's a good base recipe that you can build off of, and it's a really good oatmeal cookie recipe that you can try. And it's another fantastic one out of the 1945 edition of the Cookbook of the United States Navy. If you would like more information, please visit the website of the Naval History and Heritage Command, history.navy.mil, We'll see you at our next cooking video.